This video is about preferred coalition. Anyway, Jarvis, skip to the title. Our story starts in 1804, where Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French. Soon after, he executed a French royal named Duc d'Enghien, who was a former French royal, again I said before, from before the French Revolution. This really pissed off Austria and other monarchies, because first of all, they wanted an excuse to get back at France, because the French and Napoleon had, clapped their cheeks in the first two coalition wars. They also just feared for their own safety as monarchs if French spirit of revolution came to them. Therefore, the coalition, yet again, for the third time in a row, teamed up to fight France. Now, as for the military situation, we start with Austrian General Mack von Liebig, who invaded Bavaria, who was a French ally. Mack had about 40,000 men. Napoleon, with 80,000 men, quite literally encircled his entire army, and with only a small amount escaping. Napoleon was able to do this because, unlike the other powers at the time, he used something called the corps system. Rather than just having more concentrated columns that couldn't move as freely, these corps were essentially independent mini-armies with their own commanders, who were usually marshals or some of a high-ranking commander. Napoleon used these corps to encircle Mack's army and crush the first Austrian force he would face. The second one would be at Austerlitz, where Napoleon faced a combined Austro-Russian force. This is where the Battle of Austerlitz happened, which is where the second chapter of this video comes into play. As for the dispositions, the Austro-Russian forces at Austerlitz had 81,000 men, while the French had about 75,000. The Austro-Russian plan was to steamroll the deceptively weak French right and flank Napoleon's main forces. Napoleon's plan was to have the Austro-Russians move off their position at Pratzen Heights to attack his deceptively weak right flank. Then he would use his main force to capture Pratzen Heights, which would allow him to encircle the Austro-Russian forces, who were still attacking his right flank. He also had Marshal Davout coming to support the right flank at Sokolnitz and Telnitz. As for the start of the battle, the Austrians began the battle attacking Sokolnitz and Telnitz, moving some of their forces off Pratzen Heights, just as Napoleon intended. The French held on, but meanwhile, Napoleon began getting his forces ready to attack the Austro-Russian center. Then, Marshal Davout arrived to support the French right. Appearing before the mist, he was able to surprise and throw back Austrian forces, although the attack was soon again continued without delay. Then, the French forces launched their attack on the Pratzen Heights. Shielded by the mist, this surprise attack shocked the Russian and Austrian forces. A 2-hour musket duel began, where bayonets were sometimes used. The French managed to push the Austro-Prussians off the Pratzen Heights. However, General Constantine of the Russian Imperial Guard launched a counterattack and attempted to throw the French back. This was unsuccessful, as the French Imperial Guard was superior in quality. Nevertheless, after the Austro-Russian forces were broken, Napoleon ordered his main forces to go and encircle the Austro-Russian forces, who were still attacking his right flank. By this point, with nowhere to run, the Austro-Russian forces tried to escape through the ice at Austerlitz. However, they were unsuccessful, and French cannons drowned many, although not the thousands of Napoleonic propaganda, more like hundreds. In the end, the battle costed 22 to 36,000 Austro-Russian lives, while the French took less than 9,000 casualties, with few killed. The Battle of Austerlitz was possibly one of the most geopolitically shifting battles in all of European history. It resulted in the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire, an institution that had existed for thousands of years by this point, or at least more than 1,000 years or something like that. I don't know, thousands of years. We'll say thousands of years. The Third Coalition had to give France money, specifically Austria had to give France money. Austria ceded land and had to recognize certain French client states that France had made after the two other coalition wars. It showed that Napoleon's military prowess was enough to defeat a whole army coalition worth. Nevertheless, the Napoleonic Wars would not end with the Third Coalition. Soon after, Prussia would declare war on France, and Napoleon would have to deal with them too, as well as bloody campaigns in the northeast of Europe. However, we don't have much time left for today, so thank you and have a good day. Goodbye. Subscribe. It would really make my day. Also, like and comment and share the video to as many of your friends as you can. Also, one other note, I'm going to be doing more videos soon. A lot more stuff is going to be coming out, so watch out for that. Anyway, have a good day.